Welcome to the Last Week This Week Last of Us Episode 3 Season 2 review called The Path. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zack Huber.
And let's just get into it. Let's start with some non-spoiler stuff, and then we'll get into, I guess, the nitty-gritty details of it all. So,
yeah, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I mean, definitely an episode for us to grieve. Spoiler. I mean, obviously, spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen up until this point. We're just not giving spoilers for this episode. But yeah, I was surprised that, again, like episode 1, how slow this one was. Like, I expected us to kind of go right into let's go kill him, you know.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a time of rebuilding and healing. And I think it was smart in a sense. I mean, they even talked about it in the making of the episode that like this like way more than the game allowed us to like really, as viewers, grieve the loss of this character, and kind of gave us some breathing room going into like a brand new chapter of a story, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So I appreciated that for sure.
Yeah, I was a little taken aback by the time jump.
Yeah, it's a big one.
But so I do have questions as to why a certain character was in a certain place for so long. I can imagine why, but it seems like a bit of an excessive amount of time.
Sure.
But maybe they'll go into that. Maybe they won't. I'm not entirely sure. But I had somebody who watched the show like tell me today, like, no zombies, and
They're
like,
not zombies.
well, you know what I mean. But like,
Yeah.
but and like for some people, like that is a big draw of the show. I certainly don't think it's. I think they're a part. They are an integral part of the world. But it doesn't mean that they have to be in every episode. I think
it's just like a fuel for stories in a sense,
right?
You know, it's not like the main issue everyone's having,
right? And I mean, the preview for next week. I mean, there's going to be a ton of them. It looks like so.
Looks like it.
Yeah. But I thought overall, like, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought that there was a lot of interesting reveals and how some characters feel about other characters.
But I also feel like this was a really great, like, metaphorical, like, passing of the torch episode from like, let's transition from Joel being the main character to Ellie being the main character.
Right.
And we can go into spoilers now, since I don't think there's a lot left to say without it. But I think with the passing of the torch stuff that I'm referring to, it's like you have her picking up and keeping Joel's gun, and saying she's going to use it to kill these guys. You have her at the front of the horse now when she rides off out of town, and I think you have a lot of like building up of the character Dina into this really great number 2, kind of giving her the co-star lead of this show now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, and then well, I guess that's a lot or enough of passing the torch. But I think overall there were some really great moments in this episode too. Like, my favorite probably is the town hall meeting.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, because like, and I was very happy to hear like they're still doing stuff that's just not in the game, like give everyone like kind of new insights. And I guess this was kind of like just kind of a like mentioned in passing in the game that there was like this vote, to send a bunch of guys to go avenge Joel, and it just didn't work out. But super powerful to see kind of Ellie really fight to make this, even though she wasn't telling her own truth. She was still like passionate about having the town help, because I mean, and I felt the speech, even though she wasn't like maybe feeling it herself in a sense. But I I don't know. I think it's it's a good message.
I think she still meant what she said.
Yeah, I think the more she's said it, the more she started to believe in it for sure. But you know, she was obviously going to go without them or with them, so not like the stakes were incredibly high for her. But still very cool to see like Seth, the bigot from episode 1 or something, like come around. And I don't know if you watched the making of for this episode, but you know, I thought it was interesting that they were like, yeah, it's really surprising to see this character kind of make a turn and be like, I'm gonna defend and like fight for Joel and Ellie here. And like, to me, I kind of felt like it was more in line with his character in a sense, because like it's like he's like, I feel like he's a radical person, right? And I feel like the idea of let's like basically an eye for an eye is very, and like let's defend our own is very in line with like, I don't know, that kind of person to me. But like I still think it's cool that like he is doing something in turn for like Ellie and Joel in a sense. So yeah,
I mean, I guess I don't see him as a radical person. What makes you think of him as like a radical person?
I think saying what he said at the New Year's Eve in front of everyone and his viewpoint is a bit radical.
I think it's a like a bigoted viewpoint, but I don't necessarily, I guess in a way you could think of it as radical, but I guess I don't see him as like a radicalized individual, if that makes sense.
But he just exudes the energy of like a far right conservative to me, you know? And so I guess that's maybe where I'm pulling from. But
maybe, but like I guess like after watching the second episode where you know he's apologizing and he's like being like pretty sincere about like I should have never even said that, you know, like it just leads me to believe that it makes me think that he's a bit more level-headed and like self-reflective. And I think, to be honest with you, like I understand where the townspeople are coming from with, you know, they still don't have everything fixed, and
after 3 months,
which is pretty intense. But a lot of people died.
A lot of people, yeah.
But I gotta agree with, you know, Seth and Ellie.
Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing with them.
Because, like, yeah, I mean, you can't just. I mean, you could be a good, somewhat moral person, I guess, and be like, well, you know, that thing happened, but then like they raised the point of like, well, hey, they didn't come after us, so. But I think you know, they don't know they don't know the whole story, right? So
right. Like, but that's the thing too, is that like because they don't know the story, they have no idea why they came after Joel and killed Joel, right? Like all they know is they put Dina to sleep, beat the shit out of Ellie, and then killed Joel, you know, and. Yeah, sure. There's a mystery there, but like the pretty simple explanation is they went out here and intentionally targeted one of us. We have to fight back, right? And I don't think that's like a wrong point of view.
Yeah, I mean, essentially you're going back to like the days of the Old West, and like you know, like a warrant, like you're wanted now. You have like wanted posters, so it's
right.
You know, like. So I understand why the town voted the way that they did.
I mean, we're assuming that Tommy and Jesse and Tommy's wife. Yeah, were the three who voted yes. I mean, that's what I would assume.
I would assume.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I totally get it, because they just lost a lot of people, and now you're gonna, you know, possibly lose 16 more. Is that what they were gonna send? So. Yeah, so that's a lot of guys to lose, a lot of people to defend your walls.
To be honest, like if they would have voted on like 8 people, like I feel like that's a little bit more doable. 16 does seem like a lot.
That's so many. Know? Yeah. But like just Ellie and Dina, that doesn't seem like enough, you know? So
no, it doesn't. But maybe there'll be some amount of strength in the fact that there's only two of them and they're not the biggest walking target.
They can stealth it, right?
I mean,
I thought what was interesting that came out of the town hall meeting though was the conversation between Gail and Tommy. I don't know if you remember it, but like
at the baseball field.
Yeah, but like I was surprised to hear how negative Gail was like towards Ellie, basically saying like, you know, sometimes people can't be saved, and it's like it's not like sometimes you like nature will take its own course and you can't nurture it enough. And I was like, so basically kind of signaling that she believes Ellie's kind of too far gone maybe, and that she can't be saved, which is crazy. I mean, yeah, like you're probably not going to convince her to not go at this point. Like she's set in her ways, but
right.
I don't know. I think that is a very incredibly negative outlook for a therapist to have on one of their people, you know, but
or a very, you know, an outlook that's born out of you know, world. Experience. And sure. Time doing that job, you know. So, and like I don't think she's wrong.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, crazy to say that too to Tommy, you know, like, because I mean, Tommy's kind of taking up this like basically the Joel role at this point for Ellie, even though they're probably not going to see each other for quite some time. But yeah, crazy stuff.
And then I hope they go into this cult. That it's up in Seattle. That they,
I know. In the game, I think they're called the Scars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about them, and we see one scene with them with like a bunch of crazy lore with the prophet, and like I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then at the end of the episode, Ellie and Dina come across them, and they're all just wiped out.
Right.
And we're assuming it's the WCF or the WFL, WLF. Shoot, yeah,
WLF.
Yeah. But there's no real evidence of that, you know, just that they're in Seattle. So I don't know.
I feel like it's safe to assume that it is them.
Sure. But I also feel like it's like we as the viewers know that like if they go and hunt down a bunch of the WLF, you know, like that's probably not a good thing to do, since like majority of them aren't at fault for like Joel's death, right?
Well, I don't. Well, yeah, but I don't. So I don't think just like the goal is all of them.
Sure, but you're gonna have to. I'm gonna say you're gonna have to kill some to get to them.
No, I agree. Yes,
and so I think they're making it a little easier for you to like root for that as a viewer. Maybe that's not what they're doing, but I thought it was an interesting way to do that.
Yeah, to make him seem more like a bad presence.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next episode with whatever Jeffrey Wright's character, you know, we'll get like a better sense of what they're all about. But like, you know, just from like what I'm the preview, it's like this naked man who's dirtied and like handcuffed and it's just like being held hostage and all these like militaristic like walking patrols. Like I don't know, I don't get the best idea. But I guess they did say that the wolves don't kill anybody who doesn't like defend themselves, like who isn't able to like fight back.
But then we saw bullets in the back of their
that's what I was saying. Like so maybe it's not them, maybe it's something else, you know. I don't know. I mean, I haven't played the game. They do have hammers, so I don't know if that counts at all. Probably not, but you know,
to defend themselves against guns. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, it's so I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. But I'm intrigued. I hope I'm sure they'll touch on like that cult a little bit and what's going on there. I wonder. I mean, we're definitely going to find out who that prophet is.
Even though they're dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure maybe there'll be like a flashback. I feel like I sense a Jeffrey Wright flashback coming.
And he's like heavily involved with them.
Yeah, potentially.
Possibly. I thought it was nice. We got a little like finally flirtatious moment between Ellie and Dina in the tent. And definitely hinting at a relationship building between those two. Thought it was going to go farther, but that's fine. We go for the slow game here. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I was honestly mine is like the opposite of the slow game here is like we just jumped straight from like Jackson to Seattle in like 10 minutes. I thought we were going to get more of the journey there, to be honest. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But like it's just like we jumped 3 months and then we're jumping like maybe another month, like after that. So I don't know. How long does it take to travel 870 miles on foot? That's probably longer than a month, I would assume. But
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So I guess at that point, I'm even more surprised that Ellie and Dina aren't an item at this point, considering they've been traveling for months. But
I don't know. I guess I don't know what the I don't know what the time frame for that would be. I guess
I don't know. It's just a long time for two people alone,
It's true.
But yeah, and then there's a couple other moments I forgot to kind of touch on here. The first two moments with Tommy when he was cleaning the bodies, him saying like, what was it? Give Sarah my love. That broke me. And then Ellie had a really like intense moment in the hospital that I loved, where she woke up and still like saw what she was seeing when she was unconscious or got knocked out or whatever. So yeah, those were two great moments to start the episode. And then we have this great intense moment to end it where Dina's throwing up from the body she saw, and there's a mystery of, or maybe not mystery, but more maybe a more intense drive to kill these people now, because they're like, hey, if they're doing this and killing Joel, like it's kind of our duty to kill these people now.
Yeah, potentially.
Right. So yeah, definitely a transitional morning episode. It's a pretty good one. Don't really have many complaints, if any.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. Well, I think that's our thoughts then. And we will see you all on episode 4 next Tuesday, I think. We'll probably be releasing that one. So, thank you for sticking along with these reviews, and we will see you all next time.
See you next time.